Hello students, we shall look at the fifth module in energy and environment subject, that is on social issues and the environment. Okay. So in this social issues and environment, we have topics like climate change, global warming, acid rain, ozone layer depletion, nuclear accidents and holocaust, case studies, wasteland reclaimation, consumerism and waste products, Environmental Protection Act, Air Act, Water Act, Wildlife Protection Act, Forest Conservation Act, and issues involved in the enforcement of environmental legislation. So these are the topics which we will be discussing one by one. So this discussion, the first talk is on climate change. So you all know there is a difference between weather and climate. Weather means for short duration of period, the conditions, whatever you call, is known as weather. Whereas for long term, like known as climate, like you say we are in coastal region. So coastal region like Karwar, Goa and all, they are hot and humid climate. Okay, so that is a long, but sometimes now in the winter and all, you may have some small weather changes, the temperatures come down. Over these years, if you ask your parents and all, you will find that some places there is excess rainfall, and some places there is deficit rainfall and droughts are happening. So earlier, if you ask your parents and grandparents, our weather system or climate was almost fixed. It was not changing. But in the last 200 years, more so in India in the last 50 years, due to rapid industrialization and rapid improvement in transport, we find that there is a shift in the climate. So not everything is good with the Mother Earth. The average temperature in several regions has been increasing in recent decades. The worldwide average surface temperature has increased by 0.2 degrees centigrades to 0.6 degrees centigrades over the last century. Many nations have experienced increase in rainfall, especially within the international locations located inside the mid to high latitudes. In few regions, such as parts of Asia and Africa, the frequency and depth of droughts are found to increase in current decades. All these are signs that Earth is unwell. Its weather is changing, making it extra hard for mankind to survive. The Earth is losing its ability to balance itself owing to the imbalances created by human activities. Studies conducted by the Intergovernmental Panel on Global Climate Change (IPCC) have shown that within the close to future, the worldwide mean surface temperature can rise by 1.4 degrees centigrade to 5.8 degrees centigrade. Warming is greatest over land areas and at high altitudes. The frequency of weather extremes is likely to increase floods or drought. Global mean sea level is projected to rise by 9 to 88 centimeters by the year 2100. Human societies are seriously tormented by extremes of climates like droughts and floods. Drought means deficient of rains, floods means excessive rains. This is often a serious concern for human health. To a large extent, public health depends on safe potable water, plenty food, secure shelter and sensible social conditions. Roti, kapda and makan, what we say. It also requires air, water. Potable means drinkable water. All these factors are damaged by global climate change. So this climate change is affecting our water, food production, shelter and the social conditions. Fresh water components are being significantly affected, reducing the supply of smooth water for consuming and washing in the course of droughts and floods. So there is a shortage of fresh water. Now there is a lot of issues with respect to water. The danger, water can be infected and sewage systems can be damaged. Due to floods and all, the sewage water gets into the drinking water also. The danger of increased spread of infectious diseases increases. Due to this, the floods and all, especially, I think 2 years back we saw in Karwar also, lot of floods was there due to excessive rains and discharge of Kali river. Food and water shortages may additionally lead to conflicts with critical implications for public health. See, man cannot survive without food and water. Please understand this. And this climate change is affecting the food production as well as water. Changes in climate will boom the spread of sickness, including malaria, to regions which lack a strong public fitness infrastructure. See, public health system is there in some countries very strong. In some countries, due to excessive population and all, they don't have that strong public infrastructure to take care of the health. So this is like malaria, which happen due to mosquitoes and all. They will increase. So this climate change is ongoing process, and it, as discussed, it is mainly due to the human activity. It is not due to birds or other animals or trees or plants. It is only man due to his activities, what you call anthropogenic activities, like production of power, transport vehicles, lot of industries. So these are the main contributors which are leading to the climate change. So in the next discussion, we shall look into the global warming. So now let us look at this photograph. It's a black and white photograph, but you can see in the bottom you have got cars, okay. Then you have got industry to the left. You have got industry, okay, and you have got this marine transport. So it is very clearly again burning of fossil fuels, coal, oil, etc. Okay, it adds carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. Car emissions, again carbon dioxide. And you have got from top there is an arrow coming down, the energy coming from the sun to the earth. So about 75% of the sun's power achieving the earth is absorbed on the earth's surface, which increases its temperature. Whatever is left on the warmth transmits back into the atmosphere. Some of the heat is trapped through greenhouse gases, often by carbon dioxide. See, you might have seen greenhouses. Greenhouses means the poly houses, plastic houses, no, where they have nurseries. So in the greenhouse gases, not in greenhouse, sorry, not gases. In the greenhouse, there is controlled weather. Okay, because of the plastic film. There is like a plastic house made of plastic, where these small plants nurseries are grown, and once they become stable and hard, then they are taken out to the field. Similarly, this earth also in the atmosphere, due to the increase of carbon dioxide and other gases like water vapor, methane, these are all called greenhouse gases. The sunlight which is coming, the energy gets trapped. Okay, so as greenhouse gas emission is discharged by numerous human activities, it's quickly increasing and causing global warming. Human activities for the duration of the last few decades of industrialization and population boom have polluted the atmosphere and affecting the weather. See, with the past, when India got independence, India had a population of around 35 to 40 crores. Today we are 138 crores. So the population of this country has grown, first thing. Second thing, industrialization also. When India was independent, we had very few industries. But now in most of the big cities, towns, you have got industries. Okay, government has planned industrialization. Earlier, the citizens were dependent only on agriculture. Then came industrialization, and today it is more that people are getting jobs on service sector. So, because of this industrialization and boom in service sector also, the standard of people living has increased. So, people have to commute long distances for their work. Okay, from their home to the place of residence to place of work. So, they are using lot of vehicles, be it two-wheelers, four-wheelers, or even public transport. Please see the carbon dioxide in the surroundings today is almost around 380 390 ppm parts per million, and before industrialized period, maybe 70 years before now, we have almost increased 30% of the carbon dioxide. Means you can just imagine around 130 ppm. It was around 250 parts per million before the pre-industrialized time. In India, maybe somewhere around 1940, 1950 you can take. But in the last 70, 80 years, we have increased the carbon dioxide by 31%. This is inflicting greater heat to the trapped inside the lower atmosphere. What happens when the carbon dioxide is released? So this acts like a greenhouse gas. So what is greenhouse gas? It will trap the heat and will not allow the heat to go back, and hence the temperature of this atmosphere will increase, and the temperature of earth will also increase, and we call this as global warming. This phenomena of increase in the temperature of atmospheric air as well as earth is known as global warming, and this has got serious consequences. You know that some 8 to 10% of the water is in the form of glaciers, and the glaciers, Arctic glaciers, Antarctic glaciers, they have started melting, and their sizes have already reduced. So that melting of the glaciers is going to increase the level, okay, and by almost 1 meter in this century. And because of this, what will happen? The low-lying areas, the coastal areas, some small islands, they will all vanish. So this is a great impact of global warming. Okay, and it also affects not only human life, habitat, it also affects the animals, aquatic life, and plants also. So this was all about global warming. We shall look into ozone layer depletion. So we know that there is a ozone layer in the atmosphere. You can see the Earth's atmosphere here. So the first from x-axis you take 0 to 10 kilometers, that is the troposphere, okay. And from 10 kilometers to almost 45 kilometers, you have got stratosphere, and in this stratosphere you have got the ozone layer, okay. Main concentration is there in the stratosphere. So up to 10 kilometers it is not there, but beyond 10 kilometers you will find the ozone concentration, and ozone is there from millions of years, and the units are 300 to 500 Dobson unit. Okay, so 100 Dobson unit is equal to 1 mm. Okay. And Dobson was a scientist who found this unit to measure, and we will see how this ozone layer is disturbed by CFC used in industry and refrigeration, and this leads to even 1% loss, and ozone leads to 100% skin cancer and cataract. Cataract means eye. We get pari, na, that film on the eyes. Especially elderly people who move out in sun, they get this cataract. Man can protect by using glass, but animals and birds lose their eyes. Please understand. So this was about the we will see in. So we have seen that not in the troposphere but in the stratosphere, 20-25 kilometers away from Earth, we have got this stratosphere, and we have got ozone layer there. A very nice pictorial presentation is here. Sunlight and heat is coming, and some part is absorbed and some part is radiated back. Okay, and these greenhouse gases, you can see they are again sending back the heat to earth. So what are the substances which are damaging? Left you will see deforestation. We are cutting trees and burning the wood. Second is CFC, chlorofluorocarbon. These are the chemicals which are used in as the refrigerants actually in air conditioning and refrigerators. And third, you have got petrol, your transport vehicle engines, and the problem with the industry when they burn the fossil fuel. So you can say ozone is made by the action of daylight on oxygen. Now you can see the sketch here. There is sun coming, and first troposphere is given, the earth. Then second is the ozone layer in the stratosphere. So O2 plus O is O3 and ozone is O3. It forms a layer 20 to 50 kilometers over the surface of the earth. This action takes place naturally within the atmosphere. However, it is extremely slow. Though it happens naturally, it doesn't happen, it is not a quick reaction, slow reaction. Ozone gas is extremely toxic with a powerful odor. It has got a strong smell as well as it is very toxic. So ozone gas at earth level is a pollutant. But we are talking of ozone gas at above 20 kilometers from the earth's surface. It is a type of oxygen that has 3 particles in every atom. It is taken into consideration as a pollutant at ground level and constitutes a health risk by inflicting respiratory elements like allergies and bronchitis. Okay, bronchitis means like people get asthma, problem with breathing actually. It also causes harm to vegetation, that is trees and plants, and leads to deterioration of certain materials like plastic and rubber. You might have seen actually that if you keep plastic things, your motorcycle, some components, when the motorcycle and cars are parked in the sunlight, there is a damage to the plastic and rubber components. It is because of this ozone. Ozone within the upper environment is important to all existence because it protects the earth from the sun's harmful ultraviolet radiation. See, sunlight is giving light, visible light, little infrared light as well as ultraviolet light. Ultraviolet light A, UV B, UV C rays. These UV rays are very damaging. The ozone layer with the upper atmosphere absorbs the sun's ultraviolet radiation, preventing it from reaching to the earth's surface. So this ozone layer which is there 20-25 kilometers above the earth's surface, that acts like a filter and that does not allow the harmful solar UV rays to come to the earth. This layer within the atmosphere protects life on earth from the harmful UV radiation from the sun. Okay, and this chlorofluorocarbons or CFCs which are used in refrigerants and aerosol sprays like you got now deo sprays. They are used as spray propellant. Means deodorant is there, but the deodorant has come from the can and come to your clothes or your body. So that spray that is called as propellant. So it is this chemicals are used as propellants and they expose a threat to the ozonosphere. That is known as ozonosphere. The destruction of ozone layer is seen to cause increased cases of skin, mostly cancers and cataracts. So eyes, when people who work in outside mostly, they get cataracts after some years. So there will be a small film on the eyes and then the visibility reduces. And some people get skin cancers also. It also causes harm to the positive vegetation and to plankton, accordingly affecting nature's food chain and the food webs. So this is very damaging not only to man but also to plants and animal life. It is making some animals and birds blind also. This in turn causes an increase in carbon dioxide due to the decrease in vegetation. So if because of this ozone destruction in ozone layer, ozonosphere, the UV lights are damaging the food chain and food web. So these plants and all, which are the main producers, and also they are taking this carbon dioxide and converting into oxygen. So if that is affected, then definitely the carbon dioxide recycling is reduced, and hence you will find more CO2 in the atmosphere due to the decreased vegetation. But we are actually, man is using, I don't know whether you have used, seen in your house, if you have got water purifier like AquaGuard, this Kent and all, all these water purifiers, some 5,000, 10,000 and above, they are having that UV light, ultraviolet lamp, which will kill the bacteria and microorganisms in the water. Okay, so man has used this for some advantage also, and in this corona period actually, this UV lamp, ultraviolet C lamp, is considered to kill the virus. Okay, that is also there. So man is trying to make use of this ultraviolet lights for his own advantage also. Thank you. Hello students. In this discussion we shall look into nuclear accidents and nuclear holocaust. You are all aware of Chernobyl gas disaster, nuclear disaster in Ukraine. So that was a big issue, and it was not brought to light because it was under Russia, that is a communist country, and this happened on 26 April 1986, Chernobyl nuclear disaster, now in Ukraine. We had a power plant of 1000 megawatt electrical energy it used to produce, and was working continuously for 2 years, and it was shut down for normal repair on 25th April. But the procedure which is required for shutting down the nuclear power plant was not properly followed, and which led to a serious explosion, and almost 1000 tons of steel concrete lid blew away, and the temperature fire, it caught fire, temperature went very high, almost 2000 degrees centigrade, and lot of fuel and radioactivity debris, they spread out on the volcanic cloud. Neighboring countries like Poland, Sweden, Denmark, Norway were also affected. So almost 5 lakh people were affected, and lot of diseases. As well as this nuclear means, you will have cancer and leukemia, that is blood cancer, and people suffered from anemia, loss of hair, damaged skin. Almost 2000 people died. Lot of flora and fauna was damaged. Agriculture produces were damaged. See, to avoid such things, though nuclear energy is cheap, non-polluting, but you should have proper care and safety measures so that we can avoid such disasters. So nuclear energy has been researched and discovered by man as a source of alternative power, which could be easy and cheap in comparison to fossil fuels. Fossil fuels means your coal, oil and gas. A single nuclear accident can motive loss of life, long-term period infection and destruction of belongings on a big scale for a long time frame. A single accident can involve lot of loss of life, long-term infection and destruction, and large-scale destruction over a long period of time. Radioactive and radioactive fallout results in cancer, genetic issues and loss of life inside the affected location for many years, and hence affecting all types of life for generations to come. Very serious issue. Even I think due to earthquake issue, Fukushima in Japan, the nuclear reactor had to be shut down. So these are very dangerous nuclear accidents. Now coming to nuclear holocaust. Nuclear holocaust, you use nuclear bombs like atomic bombs, which the America has inflicted on Hiroshima and Nagasaki during the World War II. One of the worst disasters. It has got a devastating effect on man and the planet Earth. And these kind of atomic bombs kill thousands of people and hundreds are injured and devastated for miles together. It has got a very big reach. The results of the radiation from these nuclear bombs can nonetheless be visible nowadays in the shape of most cancers and genetic mutations in the affected children and the survivors of the Holocaust. So it is seen that it is not that one bomb is like our Deepavali bomb. We put the bomb, but there is a lot of pollutant gases coming out. But here, if nuclear accident bombs are thrown, means the impact will be there for hundreds of years and for generations to come, because it affects the genes, genetic, and leads to genetic mutation, and also affects like humans in the form of cancer, blood cancer, and all. So that is why people the globally world over now the countries are very careful in installing the nuclear power plant, and the safety measures have been increased substantially in all the nuclear power installations. Like we have one at Kaiga in our Uttar Kannada district. There also a lot of strict safety provisions are being made. So this was about nuclear accidents and nuclear holocaust. Hello students, now in this discussion we shall look into wasteland reclamation. First of all, we are all aware that land is very expensive commodity, and especially in urban places like your Goa, Karwar, all these towns now, land has become very expensive. Okay, first thing, even in villages it has become expensive. So there are some wastelands, means not productive lands. So they have to be reclaimed, and we have to make them productive, because land is a finite quantity. Population is increasing, but land is not increasing. So it has to be used judiciously. Hence the term wasteland reclaimation. Reclaim means to claim it back. Okay, reclaim. Okay. Now, loss of vegetation cover leads to loss of soil through erosion, which ultimately creates wasteland. So what is wasteland? Basically, this whatever the top fertile soil is there on the earth, if it is carried away by the water, okay, because if there are no plants, means the rainwater, it will run off and take away the top fertile soil, and then it becomes barren or wasteland. Loss of soil has already ruined a massive amount of cultivable land in our country. So this cultivable, even today 60-65% of the population in our country depend on agriculture. This loss of soil, it has ruined the cultivable land in our country. Unless we competently seed our cultivable lands, we might sooner or later face the extreme scarcity of meal grains, vegetables, fruits, fodder, and fuel timber. So we all know that this land, cultivable land, gives us all this food grains, vegetables, fruits, fodder for animals, and even timber. Timber is wood. Hence, conservation of soil, defensive and present cultivable land, and reclaiming the already depleted wasteland figures prominently of making plans for the future. So for future we need to conserve the land and make it cultivable, okay, and reclaim the already if any land has been damaged or declaimed, it has to be reclaimed. So how water wasteland can be classified into three forms. Wasteland can be classified into three forms. One is easily reclaimable, second is reclaimable with some difficulty, and third, reclaimable with extreme difficulty. So, easily reclaimable wastelands may be used for agriculture purposes. Those which may be reclaimed with a few issues can be applied for agri-forestry. Wastelands which are reclaimed with severe trouble can be used for forestry or to recreate natural ecosystems. So, this wastelands, depending on the amount of investment we have to make, we can write that they are easily reclaimable. Some parts, some are reclaimable with some difficulty, and some are very extremely difficult to reclaim. Okay, and this reclaimed wasteland can be used for agriculture purpose, and also they can use for agroforestry. agriculture and forestry. Otherwise, it with lot of difficulty means they can be converted into forests only, so that we create the natural ecosystem. Now we look at agriculture. Wasteland can be reclaimed for agriculture by reducing the salt content and by adding gypsum, urea, potash and compost before planting the crops. See what happens when the topsoil is washed away, so the nutrients have gone. Now for agriculture we require the plants, we require the nutrients. So what we will do, we will add salt. We have to reduce the salt. So we will add gypsum, we will add urea, potash and compost. Compost is a natural organic manure, so that we can grow crops on the land. This is known as reclamation for agriculture. Now what is agroforestry? Agroforestry implies integration of trees with agriculture crops or livestock management simultaneously. I was telling agriculture plus forestry. Okay, so agriculture includes livestock, means animal husbandry, means keeping animals, cattle and all, cows, buffaloes, goats and all, along with some trees as well as crops. So this is known as agroforestry. This involves putting land to multiple uses. Its main purpose is to have trees and crops inter and or under planted in the form of integrated system of biological production within a certain areas. See, you are aware that the trees now they are not grown very close by. They are grown at a distance of 15-20 feet from each other. So the whatever space is there, so in that space between the trees they will be planting the agriculture crops. This is known as agroforestry, so that you can have multiple uses and even you can graze the cattle also. Now what is the need for wasteland development? Wasteland development ensures a constant delivery of gas, fodder and wood for local use. See what happens, if this is talking about like biogas, okay, food, fodder means animal fodder and wood. If you plant trees you will get wood also. It makes the soil fertile by preventing soil erosion and preserving the moisture and enabling a hold on ecological stability within the area. See, the top soil, which is very fertile, has got a lot of microorganisms and even moisture. Okay, that erosion, that is draining of that topsoil should be avoided in the wasteland development. The trees help in protecting moisture and reducing surface runoff, supporting in the control of soil erosion. So these trees have got a lot of roots and even the plants have got a lot of roots. So they will hold the soil, so that during rain they will not allow the surface soil to run off and thus prevent the soil erosion. So this was about wasteland development, so that we can use the like barren land or land in which the top soil has become barren into cultivable land, which can be used for agriculture or agroforestry. So in this discussion we shall look at the very important act to protect the environment, that is known as the Environmental Protection Act, which was passed in 1986 by Government of India, and it came into force on 19th November 1986. So actually the United Nations Conference on Human Environment was there, and India is a party to that United Nations. So based on this, Government of India created this act, that is the Environment Protection Act, in 1986, and it was again amended in the year 1991. The main purpose of the act is improvement of the human environment and the prevention of hazards to human beings, other living creatures, plants and property. See, you may be knowing that due to human activity, industrialization and all, lot of degradation has happened to the environment. So this is a very encompassing act which has got 26 sections, so that the human improvement environment should improve, and the hazards, the dangers to human beings and other living creatures like animals and plants and property is prevented. So that is why the prevention of hazards to human beings, animals and other living creatures. So what are the salient features of the Act? Salient features means important features of the Act. So the central government shall have the power to take all such measures as it deems necessary or useful for the purpose of protecting and improving the quality of environment and preventing, controlling and decreasing environmental pollution. So the main salient facts, features what we will be seeing around 5. The first one is the government of India will take measures to protect the environment so that it prevents the environmental pollution, it controls the pollution as well as it decreases the environmental pollution. We have to decrease the pollution so that we improve the quality of environment. No person carrying out any industry, operation or processes shall discharge or emit any environmental pollutants or permit to do so in excess of such standards as may be prescribed. So this Environmental Protection Act has come out with certain standards of means what should be the pollutant levels when you are discharging. See, every industry, you take that like Aditya Birla in Binga, Grasim Industries, so many industries in Goa also you have got many industries. They have got some discharges, some emissions, okay, but they cannot discharge as they wish. There is some limits, okay. Even water, whatever they use and they are discharging that water, that should the quality of water has to be maintained within the standards which are prescribed by the Government of India. And there is something called Central Pollution Control Board, State Pollution Control Boards. Nowadays they are monitoring all these industries which are emitting all these emissions, whether it is emission through stack emissions, that is chimney, or water emissions, discharges and all, on a real time basis, 24/7, and you will get the even public can get the information. You might have seen, I have seen this when you are going to airport, Goa airport, that Vasco, that's Zuare Agri Chemicals. There outside only that big LED board is there. It will tell you what is the pollution level or ambient quality in the present time. Okay, these are all real time information. Third, no person shall handle or cause to be handled any hazardous substance except in accordance with such procedure and after complying with such safeguards as may be prescribed. See, in this act, hazardous substances have been defined, like acids, these battery acids. There are some substances which are hazardous in nature. So they have been classified, and then how to handle them have been told. We have to follow all the safety guidelines prescribed so that the damage to the human environment, humans, is reduced or avoided, better avoided. The central government or any officer empowered by it shall have power to take, for the purpose of analysis, sample of air, water, soil or any other substance from any premises, factory, as may be prescribed. I was telling you about the pollution control boards, whether the state pollution control boards or the central pollution control board. So their designated officers, they are empowered to come anytime and take the samples. What samples they will take? Air sample, water sample, soil sample from the premises of the industry. So that powers has been bestowed on the officers of the pollution control boards. And if somebody is not following these guidelines, then whoever fails to comply with or violate any of the provisions of this act or the rules made or orders of directions issued there shall, in respect of such failure or violation, be punishable with imprisonment or with a fine or with both. See, if some industry is not following the guidelines of the emissions, whether water emissions, air emissions, soil emissions and all, then and these officers, they come and say, take the sample and find that in their laboratories. They have got their own laboratories also. If they find that there is a violation of the orders of the central government or the state government, then such industries are punishable. So the punishment can be both. They can be put in jail for a certain period, or they can be penalized with monetary penalty, fine. Okay. So both are there, and if for the first instance, and if they continue to violate, they may even ask for closure of the factory also. So a lot of powers are bestowed with the pollution control boards, that is authorities of the central as well as state governments. So this was a very encompassing act which was enacted in 1986 and last amended in 1991, and it definitely takes care of the human environment, living creatures, plants as well as property. Thank you.